In 1960, the Belgian Congo was made an independent country. Then, for the next few years, was involved in political instability and war that became known as the Congo Crisis. The Belgian Congo came about officially in 1908, but unofficially the Belgians began colonising the country in the 1800s, with the Belgian King Leopold II failing at persuading the Belgian government to support colonial expansion, so the king established the colony himself with the support of other Western countries. Leopold achieved international recognition of the Congo Free State in 1885. The Congo Free State operated as a corporate state privately controlled by King Leopold and was reluctantly annexed by the Belgian government in 1908, creating the Belgian Congo. Belgium ruled the country as an external colony until 1960, when the country became independent. In 1964, the country changed its name to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. After a coup by Joseph Mobutu in 1965, he changed the country's name to Zaire. He ruled until another coup in 1997 by Laurent Desire Kabila, who renamed the country the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Thomas Michael Hoare, or Mad Mike as he was later become known as, was born on March 17, 1919 in Calcutta, British India. He was originally sent to Margate College in the UK for an education, and after graduation he was unable to go to the Sandhurst Military Academy, so he joined the Territorial Army. Then World War II broke out. He joined the London Irish Rifles before transferring to the 2nd Reconnaissance Regiment of the Royal Armoured Regiment before seeing service in Burma and India. He finished the war with the rank of Major. After the war, he completed his training as an accountant in 1948. Then, finding life in London boring, he moved to Durban in South Africa. He ran a number of businesses. Then in 1961, Hoare met a Congolese businessman and politician known as Moise Tshombe. Mike Hoare got his original taste of action as a mercenary in the Congo after the mineral-rich province of Katanga wanted to secede from the new country. So Moise Tshombe called on Mike Hoare and other Western mercenaries to help train the Katanga military. Now, the succession of Katanga from Congo failed after the UN got involved. But in 1964, Mike Hoare was certainly called on by Moise Tshombe to take on the communist-backed Simba Rebellion. So Mike Hoare placed adverts in newspapers located in Europe, Rhodesia and South Africa, offering employment with a difference, with pay being £140 per month, plus an additional allowance per day for combat duties. Originally, 500 people applied, which he narrowed it down to 300 after some rigorous British-style military training. The people of the Congo were given 6 months' notice by the Belgian government that they were becoming an independent country. After that, the Congo descended into chaos. There was army mutinies, riots, massacres, pillaging, and the worst being the revolt by the Simba Rebels. The Simba Rebels were a group of mainly young men, teenagers, and a small number of child soldiers. Mainly from the Congo, there were also rebel soldiers from Rwanda and a small number of other African countries. Their beliefs were nationalism, Marxism, and magic. Generally, they went into battle high on marijuana and dawa, which was a water ritual applied by a witch doctor that was supposed to make them bulletproof. They were armed by China, Russia, Egypt and Algiers and a few other African countries. And during the later stages of the war, they were supported by Cubans led by Che Guevara. The new mercenaries were officially called 5 Commando, but Mike Hoare called them his wild geese. The term wild geese is used to refer to the Irish soldiers who served in European armies in the 17th and 18th centuries. The first batch of recruits had hardly set foot in their base in Commando, located in Katanga province, when they were ordered to take Albertville, or Kalmini, as it's now known as. The first attempt was a complete failure, with 2 of the mercenary soldiers killed. Then there was a second attack that was a complete success. After that successful operation, 5 Commando worked their way up north, taking town after town, repeating the same military tactics, storming into the town with all guns blazing, relying on surprise while causing as much chaos and confusion as possible. That was generally enough to destroy Simba resistance and then send them retreating. This was then followed up by some local mopping up operations. By November 1964, they had taken Kindu and were heading north to Stanleyville. Stanleyville has been renamed Kisangani. As the Simba Rebels suffered defeat after defeat, they started taking white European hostages. On October 28, 1964, the Simbas arrested all the Belgian Americans living in Stanleyville and placed them in the Victoria Hotel. So a combined operation between Belgian paratroopers using American Air Force cargo planes, CIA Cuban pilots, and the mercenaries of 5 Commando launched one of the largest hostage rescues in history. On the night of November 23, 5 Commando left Kindu on a high-speed drive north. The Simbas had been threatening to kill nearly 2,000 hostages. Against Mike Hoare's rule of not travelling at night, and it was a good rule, the column of jeeps and trucks was ambushed a number of times. As they fought their way north, at 6 a.m. on November 24th, a group of Belgian paratroopers began parachuting onto the Stanleyville airfield. Once the airfield was taken, the paratroopers headed into town, and by the time 5 Commando had reached Stanleyville, the paratroopers had rescued the hostages and were loading them onto the US Air Force planes. As the 1,650 rescued hostages were flown to Leopoldville, or Kinshasa, as the capital was renamed in 1966, 5 Commando, with the support of the paratroopers, spread out through Stanleyville, forcing out the Simba. In January 1965, most of the original recruits' 6-month contracts had expired. With a new batch recruited from mainly South Africa, they followed the 5 Commando achievements by taking town after town in the northeastern regions of the Congo. These spectacular advances by 5 Commando literally had the Simba revolt over by October 1965. Then in November 1965, there was a military coup by General Mobutu, who almost immediately dismissed Mike Hoare and his second-in-command because they were too loyal to the previous leadership. Mike Hoare did not take part in any more mercenary activities for nearly 20 years. In the mid-1970s, he was hired as a technical advisor for the film The Wild Geese, starring Richard Burton and Roger Moore, about a group of mercenaries hired to rescue a disposed African president. The movie even starred Ian Yule, who served as a mercenary under Mike Hoare in Africa. Mike Hoare was also involved in the Seychelles affair in 1981, for which he was arrested and jailed. He lived his life by the philosophy that you get more out of life by living dangerously, which explains why he lived to 100. He died in Durban on February the 2nd, 2020. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please check out my other videos, and until next time.